This conference will now be recorded.
Hi guys, welcome back, and good evening everyone. I hope you guys are you guys got a chance yesterday to go through the content we went through, and as decided yesterday, so from today I guess we'll have 1 hour 15 minutes of session every day during the weekdays, and I think during our weekends maybe we can cover our 2 hours class if possible. Okay. So, okay, I'll quickly share my screen, and as discussed yesterday, we'll just quickly go through what we covered yesterday, and from there, as we have discussed yesterday, we'll start with the Okta expression language. So I'll share my screen, just let me know once it's visible. Yeah, okay, just let me know once it's visible.
It's visible.
Oh, thank you. So guys, yesterday we just started with this user profile concepts. We have got couple of user profiles in Okta. One is your Okta user profile and the other is your app user profile. We understood, what is our Okta user profile and, what is our app user profile. Basically, Okta user profile is for the users which are created in Okta that we call as an Okta master users. And it has got couple of, attributes. One are base attributes and the other are custom attributes, and same you have for the application user profile. There also you have base attributes and the custom attributes. We did check, like, what are the different Okta data types we have, like string, number, boolean, integer, and arrays and country code and all. Then in the app user profile, we understood, how application user profile is different from that of an Okta user profile. For example, like in application user profile, you've got custom attributes which can be extended only if Okta queries uh, and like what happens is, like in the Okta user profile, you can just go ahead and create any of the custom attribute without any restriction. But what happens in the application user profile is, like, if you want to create a custom attribute, Okta is going to query the third-party application, and only after it recognizes that okay, this attribute can be allowed, then only you can go ahead and create a custom attribute. So over here, like, we try to understood the mappings. We could have multiple applications, application to Okta, that we can have multiple applications by which you can integrate Okta, and then you can perform the mapping. So you can have different application attributes being mapped to the Okta attributes for a single user. So over here you can see that you have a given name being mapped to the first name, surname being mapped to the last name, and then your manager is username is being mapped to the boss in Okta. So what happens over here is, like, in total, one user has got these three attributes, and the value of those three attributes are coming from two different data sources. So that's how mapping helps us. Like, we don't have to do manually anything over here in Okta to populate the value of those users. We can just map the values, and accordingly, whenever users are created, automatically it will take. Next part was to understand that how the mappings happen from Okta to the application. It's exactly the opposite concept of what we just saw, like, from application to Okta. Over here you'll have attributes in Okta which will be sending values to your application. So next we had like, the Okta expression language, which we need to cover. Before I start off with this thing, any doubts or anything which you want to ask?
I think we are good in that.
Okay. Okay, guys. So today we'll have a little bit of practical session also. You can just start following up stuff with me. First, try to understand what I'll be doing here. Basically, we'll be referring to the Okta's documentation itself for this for understanding the Okta expression language. And first we'll try to understand what does this expression language all about, and then we'll go through our environment, and we'll check how can we transform the data with the help of expression language, and how can we see the output of that language. I mean, how can we see the output of those expression language or the scripts which we will be writing. Okay, so basically expressions are within the mapping. Like, why I haven't started the expression language was that I did mention that it's important for us to understand what is an app user profile or an Okta user profile, because these expressions are basically being used at the time of mappings only. So expressions within mappings let you modify attributes before they are stored in Okta or sent to apps. It allows you to concatenate the attributes. Concatenate is addition of two strings. Yesterday I did mention that what is a string. So string is basically comprising of all your numeric, digit or alphanumeric characters. So like whatever string you have, you can just concatenate them. I mean, add them. Like for example, I say my name is one string, Vibhor is another string, and I want to concatenate these two strings, so it will be my name Vibhor. So this becomes a concatenation of a string. So just addition of a string. Then manipulation of strings, like I just want to play around with my name, or suppose my email ID is vibhor@gmail.com. I just want the data before at the rate. I don't want after the data which is after at the rate. So I can just manipulate the data in a way that I only get Vibhor out of vibhor@gmail.com. It helps us to convert the data types and many more stuff. So it's like it's Okta supports a subset of the Spring expression language functions. So Spring is kind of Java, Java framework. We don't need to understand what is Spring and how does it follow. You can just keep it in your mind that it's kind of a subset of Spring expression language. Although if in case you don't remember, it's fine. It's Okta expression language, that's more important. So disclaimer is, while some functions work in other areas of the product, uh, example SAML 2.0 and custom attribute formats, not all other functions do. So, well, when are the expressions useful for us? Expressions are useful for maintaining data integrity in formats across the apps. For example, you might wish to use an email prefix as a username, bulk replace an email suffix, or populate attributes based on a combination of existing ones. So we have seen this thing actually, like we want to use expressions in the format, like while we are sending the data, right? So from the application. Like you remember, we did do some application integration over there. We used to, send attributes to the application. So what we used to do was that, we never hard coded the values, because every time for every user we wanted it to be dynamic. Dynamic, I mean, like let's go to the environment to make it a little bit easier for you to understand. So over here, right? So if you would have remembered that any, like, let's assume this was one of the application I created yesterday only. So let's assume this is a simple SAML application, the very first application which we did. So nothing new over here. I just wanted to show this example of attributes. So there, it has got nothing to do with application integration. I've just created this in order to show you this uh, attribute stuff. So you remember, this is how we used to pass the attributes from our application in Okta to the application itself. So why are we doing this is, like we want to understand what are we doing, like user dot first name. If in case I just go in and hard code this value, I just keep in my name, right, like before. So in that scenario, I won't be able to change this value for every user who is logging in. Like for example, I am trying to access, okay, it will send Vibhor. But if in case, like Srini or Swamini or Sukanya, anyone else is trying to use this particular application in the same environment, they will also get Vibhor because it's a hard coded value. So that's why we require certain stuff which helps us to dynamically calculate the value at the time of when the user is logged in and stuff like that, so that it becomes unique for every user. Okay, so that's how expression language helps. Now I'll just go to the expression language documentation what we have in for Okta. It will be easy for us to understand. They have very beautifully explained like what Okta expression language is all about. Okay, so like just to give you an overview, it allows you to reference, transform, and combine attributes. So a reference is like you are referencing two different profiles. It could be your application user profile, Okta user profile, IDP user profile. Transform, I just mentioned, like you can just transform the data. You can just change the data. For example, you have your email ID as abc@example.com. You can just pick out that example from that abc@example.com. You can just choose that value and just leave other part of the string. So you can just transform the data, and also you can combine the attributes. Like for example, let's assume you do not have an attribute which lets you know your full name. So but like you have your first name and you have your last name. So you can just combine or concatenate these two attributes to get your full name. You do not have any attribute on Okta which helps you to give your full name, but you have two attributes, like one is your first name and the other is your last name, which helps you to which helps you to give your first name and last name. So your full name would be combination of your first name and last name, right? Also, if there is a middle name, that's a different thing. But if in case you do not have a middle name, so it's like your first name and last name only. So you can just concatenate these two or combine these two strings and you'll get your full name. So that's how it works. And for you, so over here they have told that we might use a custom expression to create a username by stripping at the exact example I was just talking about. Like you have an email address, you just want to pick out certain data from that string, so you can just do that very easily. Or also you can combine your first name and last name attributes into a single display name attribute. So that's what we did mention right now. So referencing is, I've just mentioned that either you can reference it to your application user profile or an Okta user profile. Now we'll just see some of the attributes which we have, and then we'll just go through the practical session. Okay, so like there are certain functions. I hope you are aware of these functions at least. Like we have mentioned these, so like what happens here is like why I have created this application. I mentioned that this is just for for me to send the attribute so that I can see the value of these attributes. It has got nothing to do with application integration. It's a very easy application integration. The very first which we did, you remember that we had the metadata which we downloaded and then we uploaded over here. And so that same integration, I'll just show you that integration also. So this was the one. So I just use that same integration again. And the purpose is not to work on the integration. The purpose is to actually work on the expression language. So that's why. So currently, like I'm sending these like 5 attributes in my application so that I can see them. So this is like my basic stuff, like referencing attributes in expression language. So anything you want to use as an Okta user profile, you can just go ahead and write user dot something. And how will you come to know that what do you have to write in that first instance? If you want to use the attribute value, just go into this directory people and go to any of the user. Okay, and if you'll go to any of the user in the profile, you'll come to know, okay, so this is your display name and this is your variable name. So you always have to use your variable name. So if you want to get the value of this attribute, so it has to be user dot this name, exact case sensitive, exactly same you have to write it, middle name or anything. So you just have to always write these variable names, not the display names, just the variable names. And if you are referencing to an Okta user type, then it will be user dot something. If you are referencing to an application user type, it will be app user dot something. Okay, so that's the difference, and that's how we recognize and write the expression language over here. Okay, so what will happen is like this is something, can be anything. This is something as per the discussion or as per the agreement with the application team, how they want us to send the attribute name. This has got nothing to do with what we have in Okta. We can send anything, maybe first name, all caps, or whatever I wrote before, anything I can write. This has got nothing to do with us. It has got everything to do with the application. Whatever name they want us to send, we need to send that particular name. We cannot send as per what we think it would be correct. So better to whenever you will be doing application integration, better to go with the, I mean, work with the team and just uh, get to know like what name. But this is not important for us right now. What we want to understand is this thing, the value part. So this is how we have got the initial values. So these are all referencing stuff what I have mentioned above, like over here. So yeah, this one. So user dot first name, user dot last name. So this is the syntax actually for Okta user type, Okta user profile. Every user has an Okta user profile, and it is a center source of truth. So to reference an Okta user profile, you just need to use user dot something. So user is the reference to the Okta user, and then the attribute value helps us to understand what type of an attribute you are looking forward to. So that's your Okta user profile. For app user profile, you just need to have the app user, which will be referencing to your application. So and this will just help you to give the value of the attribute. So it could be like for example, you have got Active Directory being integrated, so you can just write Active Directory dot, this is like the app name. And so if it is like you are just referencing to a specific application, then you can just need to write the application name dot the attribute value. If in case you are referencing to a user, then you can just write app user dot something. Okay, so this is actually not used much in Octa expression language. Just we are just referencing to different profiles, so I'm just talking about this. In fact, this IDP user profile is also not used, but what they have done is like Okta has come up with all the capabilities. So if in case you be required to do this stuff, we can do it. It's not like we will be getting stuck due to this, that Okta does not provide the capability. So next is like to understand the main stuff is like over here is to understand the functions which are important. And so I'll just go through the functions one by one. So Okta offers a variety of functions to manipulate the attributes. Manipulate the attributes means we just need to change the value of the attributes, or the properties to generate a desired output. So we have got first of all string functions. So let's go ahead and see a little bit of string function. So I'm using these exact same examples over here, like string dot append. This is a test. I've got exactly the same stuff over here, string dot append. This would be the name of the attribute. This would be the value. So over here they are saying that you'll get an output of this comma. This is a test. This should be the output I should be getting. So let's see I'll be getting this or not. So I'll just remove all other attributes for the time being, and I'll see like if I'll be getting this. So currently I'll get just two attributes. One is your user dot first name, that should come as Vibor, and the other would come as this is a test, which should come as this is a test. Which should come as this is a test. Okay, so let's go ahead and save this. This is my IDP URL. So I'll just copy paste it and see. Okay. So see, I've got couple of attributes. The first name is coming as Vibor, and second was my test attribute. So this is like this is a test. So this was the exact same attribute, I mean output, which I was expecting from here. Uh, I can just show you. This was the same exact output I was expecting from here. So I've got that. So basically, this append function is to combine two strings. So this is your one string, and this is your second string, and it just combined both of them. So if you want to understand this, you can just refer to this guide, and you'll understand like it's basically the combination of two strings. If you want to add two strings, just use append function. If you want to join two strings, then again you can just add them. But over here you require a separator. Okay, You cannot just add them without a separator. So if you have a separator with you, you can just go ahead and uh, you can just go ahead and you can just join them. So for example, it's like your string is something like comma, this is a test, and it will just join all of these values, and this is how your output would look like. This comma is comma comma test. So you can just use if it is required. Then this is to get the length of the function. So for example, this is uh, like this has got how many characters? Four character, one, two, three, four. So it will just give you the length of the string. Uh, like if you have got spaces in your string, so it will just remove the spaces from the string. So that for that you have a function named as string dot remove spaces. Then string dot replace will actually help you to replace something. So maybe we can just try this out. So I'll be just just giving this document to you, and I mean just you can just reference to this document anytime whenever you'll be using Octa expression language. So why I'm saying is because the like it's not possible for us to remember each and every function, right? So we need to we might have a use case in mind, like we need to achieve this thing, but we don't know what function to use. At that point of time we can just come in over here and we can just see the examples. Okay, how are they referencing and how are they working, and according to our use case we could understand, okay, I need to use this particular function. So for an from practice point of view, I would say just go ahead and try as many as possible as you could by just adding the Octa expression languages over here. Attribute values is something you can just give anything, so that's not an issue. Like for example, I'm giving length now, so you just need to copy paste and see, like you are getting the desired result. If in case you do not get the desired result, then you need to look into that why are you not getting it. And also we do not have any restrictions here in the attributes that we can just send 4 5. Whatever you want to try in the string function, just go ahead and try it. So replace first is like it will just, this is a test. Hmm. So this will be just replacing that value. So contains will actually help you to understand. It will give true or false, and it will help you to understand whether this value, like this is a test, so it will check whether it test is there in this string or not. So if it is there, it will say true. If it is not there, it will say false. So string dot string switch is there then. So again, this will also help you to switch the values, like uh, then substring is a very important function. Substring is like for example, you need to give like this is a test, and then over here you will be giving the endpoints of the string. So for example, you want that uh, you will be giving numbers to the substring value. You will say that I want this substring only from uh, like character second to character 9. So it will just go in here, it will say okay, like what it will do is this, then first the character, like first word is this, then second word is, then third word is like, so it will just calculate from here, and from this point, because th is 0 1, string always start from 0 value. So t is 1, h is sorry, t is 0, h is 1, is becomes your 2 and 3. So from 2 onward it will start giving you the value until it goes to 9. So I 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and then 9 is your a, so it will just give this value, and this is your output. So see, if we again count it, T is your 0, H is your 1, I is your 3, uh, then your S is your 4, then space is 5, then I again is your 6, S is your 7, space again is 8, and 8 A is 8. So substring works like one character before. If you are giving 9, no, it will just give you values till 8. So if you are giving 10, then there would have been space also. If you would have given 11, it would have given is a comma space 11. I mean t. So maybe we can test this out. I'll just give some other values of this substring. So let's go and check this. So I'll give 11, and I'm expecting is space a space t as my output. Okay, so let's go ahead and check it. Yeah. So I got that exact same value what I was expecting, because I did use 2 comma 11 and they used the 2 comma 9. So that's the only difference we did. So you guys can also try it on your own, like whatever you feel. So try substring after, substring before. These are all important to understand. Substring dot to uppercase and lowercase. So I'll just let you know what all things you should try. Substring, any substring you find, just try that. So maybe I'll write it somewhere and I'll just paste it on the chat. Substring functions, then try uppercase, lowercase, and try, like with some other combinations, like just you can change your string value. Just don't use exactly, you can just keep my name is this, or my work location is this, or I am living here. Any string value, just don't keep this, because otherwise if you change the, like the string, you will find it interesting to understand, okay, what should be the output. You'll calculate the output first off on your own, and then you'll see, okay, if I'm getting it or not. Over here, if you'll just copy paste this particular string, this is the output. So you'll just match that, okay, these two are matching, that's it. So in that way you might not understand what this function means. So better is to just change the string values, whatever you can keep anything, just don't keep the same thing. You can keep abc at the rate gmail.com, or maybe something else. Just don't keep exactly the same. So keep the string values different, and everything else remains the same. Everything else would remain the same. So try all these 5 functions, and then try these first 2 function, append and join. So for the strings, I think this will be good. As I mentioned, just make sure that you are not keeping the values same. Okay. Next, we might have got array functions. So like over here you can see that something like this you can keep. You can also it's not necessary. You can, instead of this, you can keep your user dot first name. So let's go ahead and try this first. Maybe yeah, this one I'll try. So I'll also keep that user dot first name. So automatically that string will be dynamic. Right now we are kind of hard coding the string value, right? So that's why I don't want to do that. Let's go ahead and uh, okay. Maybe uppercase, I'll just define one attribute, and this is my attribute, and I'll just give this as user dot first name. Okay, and I'll just save it. So now my name should come in capital before. Okay. So I think there is some issue with that attribute substring. Okay. Oh. Okay. I think there's I need to use string dot, I guess. So let's try again. So yeah, I got this uppercase. I mean, I should have used actually lower, not lowercase, uppercase, because anyways my name is in lowercase only. So I'll just use once uppercase also. Okay, and I'll just go to next and we'll just save it. Again, I'll see it. So this time I will be getting a Vibhor in the uppercase. Hopefully, yeah. Okay, so this is how we can, just play around with the data. You can just, use any of these functions. Now, if in case, I just want to use a substring function and I want to use a substring function on my particular email ID. So let's go ahead and try to, use one substring also. I'll just show you. And then, you can try it on your own, the string functions. So let's assume I just wanted an email wherein I wanted like string dot what's the value substring before. Okay, and this is like I'm giving my email ID. So again user dot email, and this will be like my at the rate, because I want data before at the rate. So I'll be getting Vibu4405 as my output, because that's how my email is. So yeah, see. My full email address is vibu@gmail.com. So I just wanted data before at the rate. So that's why I got this. And this is a very useful attribute. You'll use it many times in your real-time projects, because most of the application teams want that we don't want, can you transform the data before, just send us the username, because it's basically a username at the rate your ID, the email ID. So sometimes they just want the username. So they are like, if in case it's possible, just send the value before at the rate. Otherwise, they have to do this transformation on the application end, which again requires some kind of scripting. So better is that if we can do it easily, we don't have to ask them to do it again. So that's how we do this. I'll just pause off here for a moment. In case you guys have any doubts regarding to string functions, just let me know. Also, in the meanwhile, I'll just send this list for you to practice on the strings part for Octa expression language. Yeah,
So
tell
in
me.
OKTA expression, general you are doing, right, sir? How you are getting the URL? So you are pasting the
Which one?
URL. No, like
Sorry, which?
you are showing in the web, right, sir? You are pasting that like the URL, right? The SP test showcase URL. Okay.
This one?
Yeah. So where is the location? App embedded link. Okay. Got it.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, I have just integrated an application and I'm just doing IDP initiated flow. So IDP initiated flow is like, I get this app embed link for every SAML integration which I do with Okta. And if I don't know, like, the application URL, I can just go to this IDP URL and it will also, redirect me to the that same thing. So we can just use that. Any doubts with regards to the Okta expression language? Like,
Okay. So how you are adding that expression name and values? So you are clicking the edit button.
yes. So you just need to go in edit, just go to next and just start adding the attribute statements. Under attribute statements, just start adding these values.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. Got
Better
it.
is like, I would request all of you right now to, at least just add one values over here. like just go into this, but you have access to this environment. Just go into this expression and try to add just one, because I might have not. I thought like you guys have revised this, so I did not take that into consideration that you might not be following the steps what I am doing right now. But if in case, because this was covered in our application integration with SAML, it was the very first topic, so it's fine. That's fine. You can just go ahead and try to add one value, one attributes on its own, even if it is there, or I'll just ping this link also, which I'm referring to on my own also. Just use this particular link for Okta expression language always. This is a very helpful link, and whenever you have to use Okta expression language, it will always help you. Like, like this is the best thing Okta has provided on the documentation side for the Okta expression language. So just keep this link with you. It will always help you for the Okta expression language. And I've just, pinged or pasted that, what do you have to practice. So just open this link and try to add one values, and it would be better if you can just do it now, because if in case you guys are getting stuck anywhere, we can have this, because Okta expression language is very useful and very important also, asked in interviews. And the second thing is, it is also asked in I mean, in the real-time implementation of Okta projects, you have to use Okta expression language. So that's why, because we don't write code or scripts over here. So we use Okta expression language to transform the data or get the data or work with the data. So that's why Okta expression language becomes very important. So just try it out. I'll just wait for 5 minutes. That's not an issue. But you guys just try it out once on our call, and then later, after our meeting, you can just try it out on your own. But for the time being, I just want to make sure that you guys are following the steps. So you can just use this particular application and try to add one, and everyone add a an attribute name on their own name, like Pranjali, you can add with your name, Srini, you can add your own name, and you can just remove, I can just remove these attributes, or you can, if you want for your reference, just keep it there. But yeah, just create attributes with your name, and try to do it one attribute only. It won't take much time. Just do it now. Okay. I think Swamini has done. Swamini also, you can just try it out, I have assigned this application to everyone in our team, so everyone should be able to, just see like if they're getting the right set of values or not. So yeah. Anyone else who is trying? Swamini, were you able to see the attributes also, the value?
No, I'm trying it now.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay, sure.
Yeah, I can see the values.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Anyone else who is trying? I cannot. Okay, Srini is trying. Okay.
Sir, I tried, but I didn't display on salmon. Maybe I
Sorry,
forgot
what did
any.
you? Sorry?
No, I tried lowercase,
Huh?
so it didn't display on the URL like
It
Srini
didn't display
attribute.
what? Any attribute.
No,
Okay, check.
it display all the attributes, but what I created Srini attribute, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you have it.
Yeah, I am getting my name because like I'm used logged in with this user, but you should be getting your name. You should be getting because this is an attribute which is coming for me.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, so many attribute is also coming. You can just try it out. I think you should be able to get it. Anyone else who is trying?
Yeah, I'm trying.
Okay. Okay.
Sir, I pinged the URL what I'm trying, but I'm not seeing that Srini attribute.
Is it possible if you can just share your screen maybe?
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Just let me give you. Oh man, I myself don't have it.
Yeah. Can you click on the link what I provided? You are able to see your name. Just is that the link is the URL in the chart. Do you see Srini attribute?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I will try later.
Okay.
I'm able to see.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So that's good. Like, you guys are trying, so that's a very good thing. And also, like, like this was like a very first attribute which you show, so it's fine. You use the same values, but like moving ahead, like if today you are practicing this, which I would highly recommend you to do it. So just make sure that you are not using these same string values, be it this or be it this, anything. The simple reason why I'm saying is because we know what the output should be because over here they have already told like what the output, so we won't use our we won't calculate ourselves that what should it come if I'm using this. Like see over here I tried to do this is a test 2,11, so I had to struggle, I had to calculate on my own, okay, what should I get as an output. So if in case I know what should be an output, it becomes easy for me to do it, like it's just about copy paste. But if in case I'm just changing the string value and then I'm thinking, okay, what should I get? And then I'm calculating first on my own, and then I'm verifying that calculated value with what Okta is calculating. So that becomes like an activity, and then you'll understand these functions better. So that's why I'm saying just make sure that you change the value of these strings before actually implementing it. So value of a string is only needs to be changed in the double inverted commas. That's it. Nothing else apart from that. You just need to make sure that anywhere you see double inverted commas, just change the value. Anything you can write, anything. that doesn't matter, but just make sure that whatever you're writing, that's a string, like anything, but that's just make sure that they are not same. Okay. Okay. Okay, next I think we can just move on to the next functions, maybe next set of functions. So we just saw strings. Now we have array also. So if in case we want to see array functions, they have given certain examples, right? So uh, over here if in case we need to add a certain set of values, we can directly do it. And it will, what it will do is that it will add 10 20 30 comma 40. So it has just appended or added one more value to this array. Okay. If you want to remove certain things, like you wanted to remove 20 from this particular array, it has just removed 20, and your array is left with 10 comma 30. If you want to clear your array, just use this array dot clear and it will remove everything. If you want to get a position of a particular value in an array, so you can just write array dot get. Then this, like if it would have been 1, then you would have got 1. If it would have been 2, you would have got 2. Since it's 0, this position is 0, so that's why you get it as 0. Uh, have you guys ever worked with arrays or string before? Like I am like assuming you know it, that's why I haven't told it in depth. Have you worked with arrays and string before? Or you know a little bit of arrays and string?
Yes, sir. I used in Java.
Okay. Anyone else who knows it?
It will be better if you'll explain it to us because
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
So see, array is combination of data, sequential format of data. Okay. So and a sequential format of data, and it's stored in such a way, like if in case you are defining an array, so this is how you can just have your array. I'm not telling how do we define an array, because we don't need to define an array over here. If we would have been working with Java or JavaScript, then I would have told you that how do we define an array. But for the time being, you can understand that an array is a set sequential format of data. So now what will you do is that you'll have different cells. For example, let's assume that you have got this array, like a number array, and you have got a odd number array, or maybe prime number array. Okay, 1 2, oh sorry, 3 5 7 11 13 17 and 19. Okay, so this is your prime number array. And now you want to, someone ask you that tell me how is it stored. Okay, so over here, no, like the position of this is that 1 is at 0, like this 1 is at array 0. Okay, so it starts with, like the storage of data starts from zeroth cell. Okay, so it's always like if in case you want to find the length, so this becomes 3 6 8. So length is 8. Okay, and position of ARR 0, that means value is 1. ARR 1, if someone asks you what is the value of ARR 1, it is 3. If someone asks you what is the value of ARR 5, maybe, then it is 0 1 2 3 4 5 13. Okay, so that's how we calculate the, I mean, that's how we get the values of an array. Like we ourselves need to understand how do we calculate I mean, how do we get the value of an array or a string. And same is the same concept is that with the string. Although string, you do not have, like that cells or stuff like that. It's like different way to store the data. But same, same way, if you in case you have a string, maybe str equal to my name is Vibhor, maybe. And if in case someone asks me, tell me the value of str1, right? So the value of str1 is y, str 7. So over here, space is also considered as a character. Okay, so like m is 0, y is 1, space is 3, then n is 4, a is 5, m is 6, e is 7. So I'll type it as e. So that's how these arrays and strings works. Like this is important for you to understand if you're working with this transformation of data with arrays and strings in Octa expression language. We don't need to understand a huge. We do not need to have a lot of knowledge on these arrays and strings, because there are functions which helps you to do all of this stuff. So let's assume that we just talked about a lot of things like uh, maybe remove or clear array. So in Java, if you want to write, you'll just do a for loop or while loop, and you'll just clear that array by actually iterating through a loop. Uh, if you're using a library wherein you have that remove function, then it's fine. So overall here also we are using those libraries which are helping you to work with these set of functions, and you don't need to write a code for it. Okay, you don't need to write, okay, how do we remove it? And that is like a very good thing. We don't need to write a code or a script to remove. Like we are saying that arrays is this array will, like, the output of this array is that we wanted to remove 20 from this array. Okay, it was so simple. Like we just wrote a function named as arrays.remove, and it just removed the 20 from the array. Now if in case you want to do same with the code, it's not like it's not a one line code. You have to write 3 or 4 lines of code to actually achieve it. So that's why we don't need to understand that code over here, because since we have got it simplified with the help of this expression language, so we need to focus on how is it doing it. I mean, like what would be the output if I'm using this. So we need to understand this, not the code. So, but array and strings, like the basic stuff what I've told, this is something which you should be knowing it. Like the value or the position of the cell start from value 0, and so this will always be ARR 7. So like the last cell would always be length minus 1. The reason being because we are always starting with 0. Okay, so whatever is our length, our last value would always be less than 1. I mean the length minus 1. So both string and array both starts from value 0. Okay, so now if I come back over here, and you get to see like we did see that array dot get position. So yeah, arrays dot flatten list of values. So this, what will this do is that you have got couple of arrays, if you see, right? So you've got 10 comma, then this is your array, and then this is your value. So what it has done is like back and front both way, it has added the values to an array. It has just flattened your array. So whatever values you have given to the array, it has just added, like appended those values to the array. So this is like, a function which we can use. Hardly you'll see these functions used, but like, it's important for you to understand if you want to use sometime. Then, size of an array is like length over here, what we saw. Maybe we use this, right? String dot length. Over here, it is array dot size, and you can just give the array value, and it will just tell you what is this length. So what is the length? Like over here also we see, right? The length is 8. So this is exactly like this. We can check if the array is empty or not. This will give you a Boolean value saying true or false, or we can just convert it to a CSV string. So if in case you have this value, this will just change it to a string. This is not an array anymore. So arrays and strings are two different. Like arrays are stored in cells, and string is stored in an heap memory of Java. Like I don't want to get into what's a heap memory and stuff like that, but for the time being, you can just think of it like these are two different you know uh, functionalities or functions of which we need to understand that arrays storing the data in the sequential format, and string is also storing the data in a sequential format, but they both operate independently. Like you cannot have like strings are different and arrays are different. The only thing we need to understand is like how do we understand the difference between them. Like for an array, if in case you have this kind of a value written, that means it's an array, and for string you'll have this kind of a string or a statement which is written, which would be a string value. So that's the main difference. And so these are your array functions. I'll just tell you what all you can practice from array. and I'll just paste it on the group. Yeah, add and remove you can practice, and it's not much to be honest over here. Add, maybe you can practice all of them. To be very honest, like if you'll ask me, you'll hardly use these functions anywhere. So I cannot just justify, okay, that you can just practice this because this is more important than this one. It's nothing like that. You can just practice. It won't take much time. Just 5 minutes maybe. You can just practice. Just to have these added there and see if you are getting what you are supposed to see. So yeah, so that's what. So just try to get this thing clear out, and so for array just practice all the stuff, and I think we'll be good with the arrays part. And any doubts you have in your array functions, anything which is not clear, although it's like pretty straightforward, but still.
I think we need to practice and
Yeah, right. Right, that's true. You can just practice it out today, and we can come up with doubts tomorrow. Hopefully, you wouldn't have doubts because you know what it should be an output, you know what should be input. You just need to see on your own and understand what you are writing makes sense to you at least. If it is making sense to you, if you are writing the string dot to uppercase, and if it is doing this, and if it is making sense to you, that means you have understood what you are doing. And if you have understood what you are doing, that means like you have understood how do we use octa expression language, because it's like that only. You don't need to think of logics over here, that I need to do this thing, so I need to write a logic for it. You need to understand what is your use case and how can you achieve it with these set of available functions what you have. So that's more important with octa expression language than to understand what do we have to do. So next we have some conversion functions. Suppose you have a string value, you want to convert it to an integer. So you can just have these conversion functions available. You can just try it out. This one I'll just show you, like maybe. Okay, yeah, they are actually defining these values somewhere, so I don't want to do that, but let's see. uh, Okay, yeah. Let me try to do one thing. So I'll convert it to an integer and I'll use a decimal over here. Okay. So let's go back, and so yesterday we did mention about this, right? So we try to understand the difference between a number and a string. So I'll just use this integer right now, and I'll use this, and in front, instead of value, I'll give maybe 123.76. Okay, so the output should be coming to as 123 only, right? Because decimals are not there in integer values. They are only there with string value, I mean with number values. So let's go ahead and try to see if we are getting what we are expecting. No, I think it's not working. Hmm. I think we cannot use this conversion functions in our attributes because actually this won't make sense, because I have just used this as an application to just see, like if we get the desired set of results in our output. But over here, like, conversion wouldn't make sense. It won't allow. It will allow, these string or array functions to be added over here. So maybe, we can just try this out somewhere else. Like, maybe during the profile mapping or sending scopes or claims or stuff like that. But I think over here it will not work. So that's why, because see, convert function is not working for us. That's why it's not, giving us an output over here. If it would have worked, then we would have gotten output. Maybe wrong, but we would have gotten output. But if we are not getting this attribute in the output, that means like this function itself is not working. So we cannot just, use it maybe. I'll just try one more thing maybe. Although I'm sure that will also not work. We need to send the value, right? Yeah. So we need to give this input somewhere. Until unless we don't give this input, it won't allow. So that's why it's not taking it. Uh, I can still try it once. I'm sure it will not work. Yeah, this is an error. We cannot use this together. Yeah, it won't allow. So yeah, I think we cannot use this in our application to, test it out. You can just understand these conversion functions actually. It's very easy, like, if in case you want to convert to an integer, you can just give the value over here to what you want to convert and it will convert it. If you have a double value is like your decimal values, like 123.4. If you want to change it to an integer, it will just change it to 123. If it will also round off, because anything above zero point 0.5, it will change it to the next value. Then if you want to convert it to a number, it will just keep it as it is, because numbers can have decimals. So that's like a very easy thing to understand. You won't use it much, but why I'm asking is, for example, if in case you are being asked in an interview that if you know about conversion functions, so you at least know, okay, you have these integer to decimal, decimal to integer, and number to integer functions like these. So you can just let them know. Nobody will ask you, where have you used these functions or stuff like that. They will ask you whether you have that knowledge or not. So that's why. So same as, you have all these, ISO country conversions numbers. So sorry, country code conversions. So if in case you have India, you can just make it ISO converted. You'll have INA. Yeah, you can just give the US code and it will change the output to 840 and stuff like that. So either you can make it to alpha or you can just change it to numeric. You need to give the correct code over here accordingly and it will change it. So that's how it is. And group functions, I think that would be it. Like, or this is also important, to be honest. Like, this is the group functions is the last topic, I think, which is important for us to understand in Octa expression language. So like, this is something we use while we work with the group attribute statements. So you might have like like if we do send values over here, no, I'll just remove this and I'll just show you where. Okay, so sometimes we need to send the group attribute statements as well. So over here we can just have the group attribute statements. So if I just go into edit and I just go back here and I maybe, yeah, over here I can just either have a regex, or I can start with equals with, or starts equals or contains with, and then I can use all these expressions, like it's basically like groups dot contains. So if in case I am using this group attribute statement, then if I'm using this, no, contains, automatically it becomes groups dot contains, and this is your string value. But if in case you don't want to use like this Okta's inbuilt Okta expression, then you can write it also, like you can just write it something like over here group dot contains, and then the value itself. So over here for this you need to match the regex, and then group dot contains, and then the value of the group name. So that's how you can just use it. You can again starts with, ends with, so you can just use it directly also. Starts with, if you don't have ends with, then you can have you can write ends with over here. So these functions are being used in mostly if you want to send some group attribute statement to the applications. If in case you don't want to send them, then it's fine. But like if in case we are being asked to send some attributes like with regards to group, then we need to use these group functions over here. So I would request that you guys should just go ahead and practice one thing, like strings I have told, array and group functions, and just read about I mean just practice it out these, and this wouldn't take much time, maybe half an hour or so. And if in case you guys have any doubts, we can discuss them tomorrow. I have already given you this URL of expression language URL, and you have this environment access, so you can just go ahead and try it out. So any doubts or anything you want to discuss before we close off for today?
So where you change the groups, like so in general,
Where do you change the what?
the groups, right? Last we discussed it, it's much faster. So I didn't get that groups part. So where exactly you change it, like in the groups, like
See, over here you have got group attribute statements, right?
okay, got it.
Yeah, yeah. Over
Okay,
there you can do it. Like this is your attribute statement, and then you have your group attribute statement. So over there you can do that.
okay, got it. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, guys. So if you guys have anything, maybe we can discuss. If not, then we can close off our class today, and we'll meet tomorrow again. Till then, whatever we have discussed in our session today, I would request you just go through it and just practice it. You have all your links and all your environment ready for you to practice it. So just make sure that you practice it out. And if in case you get stuck anywhere, we'll discuss that first thing in the morning tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good one. Take care.
Thank you.